Alright, so welcome members and sailors of Scarborough Yacht Club. Today I'm just going to run you through a short video presentation on how to run the race station. Doing the race station duty is an integral part of being a sailor at Scarborough Yacht Club. We realise that some people do it so infrequently that it is sometimes a little bit difficult to remember all the details of it. So that's what I'm here today to explain. The first thing to remember is the timing of the race. You need to collect the key from behind the bar in the yacht club. If it's an early morning race, you may have to come down the evening before, ask the steward for the key on the yellow ball, and then you can have it for the morning after. Okay, follow me around to the race station for the next segment. Okay, so here we are. We've used our key from behind the bar to enter the race station. The first thing we do is open all the blinds, turn on the lights and the heater if it's a particularly cold day. The first thing to check when you enter is that this bank of plugs in the back wall, that all the switches are on, because this runs our 12-volt system for lighting and horns. The second thing to do would be to turn on the computer screen. We don't tend to turn the computer off, but if the computer is off and needs restarting, the password and username are in the folders in the how-to guide there on the shelf. Firstly, we're going to turn on our radios. So this is the main handset of the race station, and this is the one that you'll be using to communicate to yachts out on the water. This one, you need to set it to channel M1 by pressing the down arrow on the set. Also in here, there is a handheld VHF which should have been left on charge. This one you'll turn on and set to channel 16 so that you can monitor any maydays or calls for assistance that might be heard from the water. Thirdly, we're going to come to our computer and you're going to select the program Racing Signals. When this opens up, it'll go through a little startup sequence. It should take no longer than about 10 seconds. From there we can select our start sequence, which will be either SYC multiple or SYC single, based on whether it's a multiple class start or a single class start. And once we've selected that, you'll see some flags and buttons come up on the race station computer. It's just running its sequence, and in a second we'll get in the first start time box, and that will turn yellow, which means that we can edit the time in there, and we'll put the race start time in and it will automatically start counting down, ready to do the horns and light sequences. After we've done this, the next part of the setup is getting our paperwork ready for the day. In here on the shelf we have different folders based on what types of races we're going to do. So whether it's a pursuit race, single class start, coastal race, multiple class starts, etc. You'll take out the relevant documentation from there, which will be a crib sheet on what to say on the VHF and also a results sheet. Okay, so the next step in this process is going to be selecting a course. This should be done based on the wind direction and conditions of the day. Ideally, we'd like to have a course that incorporates a beat and a run. So the first thing that we need to do is look out at the water and take our visual clues on wind direction. So this can be taken from where the flags are flying on the marks out in the bay, the wind X's on the yachts in the harbour, or if needs be, making a VHF communication to a yacht that's already on the water asking for a wind angle. Once we've considered the direction and the strength, then we can come over to our courses that we have available to us. At the minute we have A through X course, which are reflected by the course boards that are by my side, which will be displayed outside. So for instance, if we had a northerly wind today, we'll be looking at probably Scarborough and back to incorporate that beat and a run on the course. The courses are identified, as I said, alphabetically by a marker, and we'll always try to do an upwind start. So our course boards are here. We'll have a port course board and a starboard course board, based on which side you're going to leave the marks. So this will be placed outside first, followed by the lettered board to reflect which course we're going to sail on the day.
Race station, this is Grand Day Out. We are racing with 5 people on board today. Over.
Grand Day Out, this is the race station. Thank you very much. Race station standing by. So after we've had a transmission from a yacht that intends to race, as per our sailing instructions, we'll annotate on the result sheet how many crew are on board, and then that's also our go-to sheet so we know who's going to be out on the water that day. There are also in our documentation packs a crib sheet of what to read out on the VHF at the 10-minute and 5-minute marker before the race. This will be filled in stating which race it is in the series, which course we're going to use for the day, which side the marks will be left to, either port or starboard, and there are some extra notes about the start-finish line being a continued obstruction, how many laps we're going to do of the race, and what the time it will be. If we set an X course, which is a course of your choosing, please read out every mark on the course. Please refrain from using terminology such as 3 laps or so many roundings, because this has caused confusion in the past. So please read out every mark which is to be passed on the course. At the 10-minute gun, when our timers counts down to 10 minutes and the horns have gone off, you can read out the crib sheet. The same again at the 5 minutes. After that moment, there is no need to say anything else on the VHF. Today, in the event of either light winds or fog, we may choose to postpone the race. This is a simple process. So we leave our race programming running with the start time entered, and all I need to do is hit the yellow postpone button. This will engage the light sequence and the sound sequence to alert the fleet to a postponement. I'll make the announcement on the VHF to the fleet over M1 that there's a postponement to racing, and I'll change the first start time box on the race programme to what will be the new start time. This will automatically change our countdown. When we are confident that the race can run, we need to take down the postponement signal at least 10 minutes before the first signal. To do this, we just hit the postpone button again, which is now coloured green. The horns have gone off, the light sequence has gone out, and we're ready to go into a start sequence. Okay, so we're into the final 5 minutes of our race start countdown. Our number 1 and our number 2 mark out in the bay are inner distance marker and outer distance marker. But the start line itself is between the diamond on the race station roof and the diamond on the pier. The diamond on the race station roof above my head, we've painted a line down the window to reflect where that sits above it. So when I'm looking out at the water for boats that are over the line early, I can line up this red mark on the window with the diamond on the outer pier, and that gives me my start line so I can see if boats are over early and I need to do a recall after the race start. So in the last segment I ran through if boats are on course side, which is over the line early. In the event that they are, this recall button after the start time on our race programme will be coloured yellow, which means that you can use it. If a boat is over early after the start signal has gone, you can hit recall on the mouse, the horns will go off, the light sequence will go off. You can use the VHF to alert the boats which were over early, although this isn't a requirement under the racing rules of sailing or our sailing instructions, it's a courtesy. Once the boat has cleared back across the line to the pre-start side of the line, you press the recall button again, the light sequence will stop, the flag on the top of the racing programme will come off, and also if you wish you can alert the vessel on the water that they have cleared the line again and are clear to start. In the event of the weather getting either lighter or it's deteriorating, we may want to consider shortening the course. If this is the case, you just need to follow this next process. So we're going to take the shortened course flag, from our flag holder over here. A short and course flag is flag S. We'll go onto the roof through the hatch here, up the ladders, and hoist it from our gantry that we have up there on the yacht club roof. Then we'll make our way back into the race station, hover the mouse over horn short, and we can blow the horn twice. Once this has been done, we'll come back on our VHF and broadcast to the fleet. Scarborough Racing Fleet, Scarborough Racing Fleet, Scarborough Racing Fleet, this is the race station. The course has been shortened to 1 lap. I repeat, the course is shortened to 1 lap for all classes. Race station standing by. The process is as simple as that. In the event of a missing or submerged mark, it can throw up quite a few challenges for the race officer on how to continue with the race that day. The best thing to do in this situation is to contact someone from the sailing committee. We have a list of names and numbers on the wall here, or if you know that there's a member of a sailing committee on the water, you can hail them on VHF channel M1 and ask for advice and steps on what to do next. We're coming towards the end of our race and we can see the first boat approaching the finish line. It's key to remember at this point that our finish line is different to our start line. The finish line is the diamond on the top of the race station, which is indicated again by our red line on the window and the number 2 mark. As boats cross between that transit from the line on the window and the number 2 mark, we can press the finish button on the computer here, which will give a horn signal, and it will record the time on the screen, which we can later transcribe to our race results sheet. We've come to the point now where our racing is finished for the day and we need to pack down the race station. The first thing to remember is to take down any flags that you've put up. So today I went through the shortening of a course, so we'll probably take down a shortened course flag, possibly the Y flag if it's winter, and store them back in the flag storage. Then we need to go outside, make sure we bring our course boards in, stack them neatly at the back of the race station. Once we're confident that we've got our times transcribed onto the results sheets correctly, then we can terminate the race program. This is as simple as clicking on the start sequence drop down menu and clicking the terminate option. That will terminate the program, and all we need to do from here is turn off the screen. It's fine to leave the computer running. From there we'll turn off our VHFs, the fixed handset and the handheld, making sure that the handheld is left on charge for the next race officer of the day. It's okay to leave our plug bank on at the back here, but please make sure that you've turned off the heater before leaving. You know. Okay, so we're all finished for the day now. The race station's packed down. We've closed the blinds. You just need to remember to make sure that you take your race results sheet and give it to either the honorary handicapper or a member of the sailing committee so they can input the race results. We'll lock the door and take this to the steward who's on for the day, who will place it back in the ice bucket. But please remember, if you ever have any questions or queries or you need help when doing the race station, reach out to any of the sailing committee whose numbers, as I stated earlier, are on the board. But please ask questions rather than try to do something that you're not sure of. I hope this video has been helpful, and I'm looking forward to see you out on the water racing. Thank you very much.